Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Arkariem with Karie Gonia and Edgar Stephens. As always, we are going to be discussing a singular topic from the perspective of head, heart, and spirit. Today's topic is giving. Before we jump into our question, we are going to introduce ourselves. Karie, let everybody know who you are, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karie Gonia, and I am a facilitator in a therapy called Family Constellation Therapy. I help people clean up ancestral trauma.
And I am Edgar Stephens. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and I offer my services as a coach and consultant to individuals, nonprofit organizations, and to corporations. Together, we are Arkariem, and today's subject is all about giving. Are you ready, Karie?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I'm going to ask this question. Here we go. What is giving, and how can we give unconditionally?
Oh, that's a great question. I love giving. I feel like I'm a natural born giver. I think giving is an exchange of energy, right? Like you can give love, you can give time, you can give money. I think the key for me to give it unconditionally is to do it from a pure place, to not expect anything in return, and to also not violate my boundaries and give when I may be depleted. I see that a lot with clients where they just want to give especially women, honestly, just give everything and everything. And they think that that is actually giving unconditionally. But I think when you honor yourself in the giving, that's when the exchange actually ends up being unconditional.
I agree with you on that. There's the thing that we all know from flying where they say put the mask over your own face first before you put it over the face of the child or the person next to you. And the reason why is because if you're not taking great care of yourself, if you're not giving to yourself what you need, your ability to give actually is reduced. You must be giving to yourself enough so that you can give your best. One of the ways I learned this the hard way. There's an event company that I get to work with every year, and we help with the breast cancer walk, which is one of my favorite things to do every year with this inspiring group of people. And you're out there helping thousands of people, but the message always is take good care of yourself first. And I remember the first year that I went out with them, I was like, yes, I'm doing this. And, we're doing all of this and it's great. And I got dehydrated and I went down, and all of a sudden the people around me had to stop and help me. And I was so embarrassed, and I learned my lesson. I was embarrassed because I let that happen to me. And I was the one saying to everybody on a microphone, make sure you're drinking your water, take your breaks, make sure that you sit down, get out of the sun. And there I was going and going and going, and I had not taken good care of myself. So my ability to give to the others around me was reduced. If we don't take care of ourselves, we're not good at taking care of others. What is giving? That part, it's something that I've thought about a little bit in terms of, what is giving? So we can think of it as a sum of money. We could think of it as a gift. We could think of it as an Amazon card or a trip somewhere. But giving is really anytime that you are giving something of value, and it's not for us to determine what that value is. So giving can be my time, my love, my thoughts, just good thoughts, my prayers. Giving can be anything where I am thinking about another person, thinking of something outside of myself, and giving truly from a place of wanting that person, whatever this thing is that I'm giving or this thing that I'm concentrating on, wanting it to be something that lifts that other person up, that makes that other person be in a better place. Mm-hmm. Unconditionally, like you said, is I may not receive anything back from it, but the truth is we always receive something back from it, which is that feeling of having given something to someone, having shared something with someone, even thinking good thoughts about someone. And the way that we express in the world through our thoughts and through our heart is always going to come back to us, and it's going to affect us. There's even studies where people have watched someone in the act of giving, and they also get that euphoric feeling of watching someone give. So to me, that's what giving is, and that's what giving unconditionally is.
I love that. I love that you brought up thoughts and prayer, because that's just such a big part of my work and just kind of my day-to-day life. And it giving from that place is just so pure, because you don't, in the 3D, you don't know if they're going to receive it. But I love that you brought that up. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, there's something you brought up too, which is, and you're right, we have some extremely giving people, and usually it is women who are more giving, or who are thinking, as a generalization, sorry guys, who are thinking, even more often about giving, and sometimes over giving, giving too much, depleting themselves. But the thing about giving is that if you are giving enough to yourself and you're balancing that out, and you're giving enough to other, or you're giving to others at the same level or a greater level, and it's good for everybody, the benefit is for everyone. It does lift everyone up. It's not about me, I, but it's most certainly is about, if I give this thing, as I share this thing, you're going to lift, I'm going to lift, we're all going to receive the benefit of that. And the big thing there, Karie, because you and I both like tips and tools and all of that. And the tip and tool on it is, you don't have to give the most expensive gift. You don't have to give the greatest act of service. You don't have to give your life for someone else. It can be just the small things. It truly can be just the thought, the prayer, the meal, the single flower. Kids bring, mom the flower, and it's like, oh, it's the greatest gift in the world. It can be the simple things. Giving at small levels in a consistent way can do so much for us. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I gave you my everything. In fact, quite often, better not to give your everything, because sometimes people don't appreciate it, don't want it, or are not asking for it. So give the small things. That's my little tip, tool, takeaway.
I love that. I agree, because some of the giving of the big things, or those conditioned patterns and programs of overgiving, are highly, highly generational. So I think I love that tool. Yeah.
So speaking of that, if people have something they'd like to give to us in terms of thoughts, feedback, requests, you can always write to us at talktoarkariem@gmail.com. That's TALK, the number 2, arkariem@gmail.com. And as always, whenever we finish one of our episodes, we like for our Karie to take us out with something wonderful and thoughtful about the subject we're speaking about. So Karie, the subject of giving, what can we all walk away from? Give us a little tip, tool, or thought to take away about giving.
I would encourage people to give to yourself this week before you give to others, and really feel into that space, and then give or share something with another. But really practice giving to yourself.